Yes, good evening, race fans. It's your host, Shane Gilther, and guess what? It's the first race of 2024 for SimHaus Racing, and you're joining us for round one of the V8 Championship, and we're super pumped to get this championship underway. We've got over 22 drivers, more expected, as we take to the mountain for the first time this year. And back in the commentary box, I've got my favourite co-commentator, Tim Lawson. It's been a while, mate, but welcome back.
How good is it to be back at Bathurst and slap bang in the middle of Speed Week?
Absolutely. We had the GT3s, exciting race there, and with the world track record being broken by some time, and we're expecting another effort this weekend too at the Bathurst 500, so keep an eye out for that. Long week if you're up on the mountain, but definitely getting closer to the main game starting for 2024, and we couldn't be more excited. Big field today, so let's see how they go. All right, so we're in practice at the moment. We're going to kick off quali just in a sec, but before we do, we'll go over changes in the format for this year. It is still 12 rounds, but as you can see there, we've got a 20-minute race and a 50-minute race. So that's going to shake it up for the guys in the second race because it's going to go a bit longer than expected to what they're used to. So tyre management's a key thing, and they won't be able to judge too much off the first race because it is only 20 minutes. We are running a bit behind, so we'll get going into quali. And Tim, it's going to be quite a show today.
Absolutely, and Bathurst always puts on a spectacle, and we're expecting nothing less tonight. A field of 22 cars, very, very exciting. Everyone's going to be in a battle tonight. We've got the guys at the back running around in the low 220s right up to the front with a 201 at the moment topping the charts.
Yes, we're going to lose the times there as we are going into quali, but a few names up the top we haven't seen, and we've actually got a couple of defending champions in the field today, Wayne Walker and Craig Broadbent. Wayne Walker, the current champion for DUS Down Under Series for R Factor 2. Check them out on Saturday nights. And also, we've got Craig Broadbent, the SimHaus Racing defending champion for V8s 2023.
Well, I'm wondering if Wayne's brought a few friends with him because the top five, there's not much between them. Scotty Flack in there, coming back to try and contend for the title again this year, but it's very, very close for the top 6 or 7 cars, all pushing around the 201s.
Yes, 201s lifted a few eyebrows this week. So yeah, the fast guys are getting into the 201s. It's a different car too. We must introduce the 2023 cars pretty much same as this year as well, the 2024s. But we spent quite a while on the 2020 cars, which handled really well. The boys got used to that, but it's time for a bit of a shake-up with the 2023 cars. A bit of a different beast to control. One note is that one difference this year is that you cannot change the roll bars on this car. That's all done before the race. So brake bias is still there for the guys, but roll bar, a key one for some of the drivers, as that was their advantage. And this is sort of bringing it into a bit of a level playing field, although the setups are no longer fixed. So we've had to open up the setup so the guys can adjust the car a bit. Later on, when we figure out how to do it, we'll provide a good stable setup, and we'll hand that to the boys and say that's your standard setup, and bring it back to the fix, because we do like to bring it even, make it more about the driver than people that know how to set up a car, because not all these guys actually can get the time to come and spend the hours required to really set up a car. And you'll see that this weekend in the real life as well. A lot of time spent relying on old data from last year, and it always changes year by year with track conditions, weather conditions, and so forth. But we're currently in quali, and on screen we've got Paul Robinson for Paul Robinson Racing, the number 83. Beautifully presented Ford Mustang coming across the start-finish line. Where's he going to finish off? He's actually starting his lap time now. So we'll stay with him around for a complete lap, as no one's posted a time yet. During quali, Tim, we've got track limits. So if you scratch the walls or touch the grass at all, it nullifies your quali, which adds that extra element for the excitement.
Yes, and it's like in the other sims, the track limits around here can be quite brutal. There is not a lot of room to play. Having said that, also you don't want to be using too much of the curbs around here. They are good on the ride up. As soon as you get your wheel over the curb, it does suck you out into the grass, and that is definitely a track cut.
Yes, and you'll have to roll back to the start-finish line and start all over again.
And 6.2 kilometres, it is a long way around, going up and over the mountain. But let's see what these guys can do. Wayne Walker actually did tip the scales in a 2:00.7 in pre-practice today. So pushing very close to that 1:59 mark.
We're getting sectors lighting up on our timing screens at the moment. There is 6 minutes left on the qualifier session so far, so plenty of time for the guys to get comfortable and get their hot lap in. Paul Robinson hasn't raced with us before. I maybe popped in for one race years ago, but definitely wanting to start the campaign with a good note this year, and he's starting off with a beautiful livery presented here today for Paul Robinson Racing.
Well, just to point out here, Wayne Walker, a 2:0.41. Wow. 4/100ths away from a 1:59 mark.
And as Paul completes his, it looks like Wayne's parked it in the garage on a new sets for Hog's Breath Cafe, and he's going to get a new set of rubber and come back out again. I don't know how he's going to beat that or how anyone else is coming close. He's a full 1.7 seconds ahead of Alex Kittis, currently in P2 at the moment on the grid. Craig Broadbent, our other defending champion, is sitting in third at the moment, but watch those times drop as well.
Yeah, I think if we take Wayne Walker out of the mix at the moment, that's just a ridiculously low time. There is less than 1.5 seconds separating the next 4 or 5 cars. It's going to be very close at the front of this pack.
Yes, we'll all find out how they can race side by side too in race 1 as we conquer 9 laps. The first race will be 20 minutes, which we've calculated that to be 9 laps, and that'll set us up for race 2 as well.
And talking about our race pace, it is also the opportunity for overtakes. There are only really 3 corners on this track that are given to being taken 2 cars wide, and all of them are not for the faint-hearted.
No. Definitely for the entire race and the guys that aren't as confident, it's better not to risk it either. You know, you got high risk maneuvers with low risk, low gains.
Well,
So,
we saw the BMW pay the ultimate price on the weekend in the Bathurst 12 hour for the GT3s, trying to overtake a slower invitational car, and ended up backwards on the wall.
yeah, that was the Janetta. We saw them getting caught up in a few little incidents on the weekend. Hopefully the boys are all okay in that team car. They caught fire within first 5 or 10 laps, I think. Spent an hour to fix that, and then they were back out. And look, they got good coverage. They were on the screen for quite a while, so I guess that's what the sponsors want. But yeah, it was unfortunate that's come together with the race leader at the time, wasn't it?
Yes, it was, and they were on point to actually run down the Porsche, and they were favoured to take the race out at that stage.
Yeah. One little, the little bit of impatience, and it cost them the entire race. And it's a long way to come for those guys to uh, turn up. And, the team and the effort that the BMWs came, Valentino Rosso in the other BMW as well. It's a long way for them to come with no result. And a silly mistake like that too. I mean, if you were to look at it, you could see it on both ways. But yeah, racing incident, unfortunate. Can't change the result, so they're going to have to come back again. So yes, let's hope they do, and a few more next year, as it's building up to be quite an exciting week for the GT3s and Bathurst, the city of Bathurst as well. I actually went there to work on simulators up on the mountain, so it was an exciting time, and I'm going back tomorrow for the V8. So yeah, looking forward to that.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Great to have an event, an opportunity for those drivers to come into Australia, and not only for Australia to have a fantastic track like Bathurst, but to showcase that to the world and all of New South Wales and the rest of Australia too. Fantastic to bring that many people into the country.
Yeah, like international coverage as well. Like, all eyes are on Bathurst. Any racing game you've got or bought or simulator, Bathurst is the #1 track that everyone talks about, with up there with Nürburgring and
Ooh,
Spa.
and it's separated across all of the simulators. Every major sim has a major Bathurst event at this time of the year to coincide with the GT3s. And again, coming into September, October, all the major sims will all have a major event for the V8 Supercars.
Yeah, so as we go through the quali results at the moment, Luke Tolhurst racing from Entertainment Park in Bankstown. He's currently in 17th. Troy Kozlowski from Queensland just up ahead in the Cool Drive car. He's in 18. Then we've got Gabriel Nunes in the garage. Andrew Chilui also there. Ender Murphy, the old owner of Race Centre, is back in. Got no worries in the world, just wants to hop in a sim and give it a go. As we see Matt Collins up the front, trying to chase down that quali time of Wayne Walker, pushing Craig Broadbent further back, but still 1.2 seconds away. And Wayne Walker getting into the sub 2 minutes with a 1:59.8 there, Tim. Just incredible.
Yes, he's been knocking on the door for quite a while, just finding those 2 and 3 tenths a lap. It wasn't going to be long, but this is not the race event just yet. This is qualifying. It's a pretty open track and some open space. Let's see how this rolls out during the race with some pressure coming from behind.
So we've still got a couple of guys out there completing their lap once the checkered flag has dropped. Collins just locking up in there. He crosses the line with a 2 minutes 8. So as much as he improved by 0.3 of a second, it was still not enough to catch Wayne Walker at the top. Okay, so all the boys are in pits. Eric Chandra's still out there. Oh, he's come through turn 1. So that is pretty much it.
Now it looks like we've still got Cam Rutledge is out on track. Troy Kozlowski is still on track, and Gabriel Nunes. And Will Devlish is still out there trying to improve his time at this stage.
So we'll just bring up the quali results and start with that, Tim, if you can.
So as the clock counts down with the last guys on track, we've got Wayne Walker sitting at the top of the tree, a full 1 second lead with a 1:59.8. Rounding out the front row of the grid was Matt Collins, a full 1 second behind with a 2:00.843. Second row of the grid, we'll be starting off with Alice Keatis and Craig Broadbent in the Snow River, both in the 201s. Row 3 on the grid will be Scott Flack in the Superflow Racing and Braden Pritchard sitting alongside him. They're both running in 202s. Row 4 will be Will Devilish and Paul Robinson. Row 5, I've just seen Gabriel Nunes run into the entrance of the pit. Row 5 will be Curtis Ignatus and Justin Bryce. Row 6 will be Eric Chandra and Grant Pachulo. Row 7 will be David Baker and James Spotto. Row 8 will be Daryl Callahan and Cam Rutledge. Row 9 is Luke Tolhurst and Troy Chisowski. Row 10 will be Jeff Newen and Gabriel Nunes. And row 11 will be Andrew Kaluri and Enda Murphy, rounding out our top 22 cars.
So a big grid there. Thanks, Tim, for race 1. We'll just have a brief chat to the boys, let them just set it up for the year, let everyone know what to expect, and we'll come back with race 1. So stay tuned, guys. Thanks for joining us.
There is nothing like the mountain, the speed, the history, and most importantly, the sound. It's part of the Bathurst 1000, and now it's part of your whiskey too. Aged to perfection with the sweet sounds of a roaring V8 pumping through each oak barrel. Like a perfect lap of the mountain, each sip will leave you wanting more. For the second year, Ned Australian Whiskey brings you the 2022 limited edition Sounds of Bathurst Whiskey. And this year, Ned have taken it up a gear. The boldest drink for the greatest race in Australia.
Okay, welcome back, race fans. The guys are getting ready to grid up, and we'll run through that grid once again for you at home that missed quali.
So our grid will line up on row 1 will be Wayne Walker in the tradie, and then Matt Collins in the Monster Energy racing car. And then we've got Alex Kiedis and Greg Broadbent off row 2. Row 3, Scott Flack and Braden Pritchard. Row 4, Will Devilish and Paul Robinson. Row 5 is Curtis Agmanis and Justin Bryce. Row 6 is Eric Chandra and Grant Pachulo. Row 7 is David Baker and James Spotto. Row 8, Daryl Callahan and Kane Rutledge. Row 9, Luke Tolhurst and Troy Chizowski. Jeff Newen, Gabriel Nunez, Andrew Chalowski and Enda Murphy. And we're off and racing, heading on our way down to Hell Corner. And I've got to roll back up to find out Wayne Walker is taken out, obviously straight off the line with Matt Collins in behind. Everyone folding through Hell Corner here as a clean run up to the hill. A couple of guys out on the grass, but everyone's kept it on the black stuff and we're all moving forward.
Yes, Wayne Walker getting a great start there. Matt Collins tried to come across but wasn't able to cover Wayne Walker there. We'll go back up the front. They're all spread out quite evenly, so the first 4 pulling away from Scott Flack in 5th there, and here comes the rest of the pack coming through. We've got no incidents turn 1, 2 or 3, so really great start from the boys as we see the field just going through there. Across the top, Wayne Walker dominating, already gapping Matt Collins in P2. Last year's sponsor for MJ Build. Alex Kiddis showing a great set of heels as well. So we can see him come down Forest Elbow. That's Matt Collins, Kiddis, that's Broadbent, then Scott Flack, Paul Robinson, Justin Bryce moving up a few spots as well. And we'll go through and introduce some other drivers as we've got a lot of new ones here joining us for tonight, Tim.
Now the guys have all done really well. We've got a nice train going on now. Everyone being respectful in this first lap, which is great to see. We see a move at the moment as Will Davis is moving down the inside.
Yeah, Alex.
And James Spotto a little wide.
So I've got Broadbent under Kiddis, but Kiddis too good. Further back, there's a bit of a melee. We can see Gabriel Nunez coming up the inside. Oh, and he's rolled over. He's hit the inside curb. Big mistake from him, and he sees himself going down to the back of the pack. He was making up a fair bit of ground there too, as we're watching James Spotto head up Mountain Straight. David Baker back in the Kmart, the old Greg Murphy Holden livery there. And he's got Luke Tolhurst knocking on his heels as well. They used to race together in Entertainment Park, but now David Baker's racing from home, so he's looking to get his rig up and running.
And Jeff Newen's obviously having a few technical issues at the moment. He's struggling to drive that car into a straight line. He's at on the pit straight at the moment, just gathering himself whether this is a wheel issue or a mechanical issue yet to be determined.
Yes, he's stuck on the front straight there. So we'll get back to him. Cam Rutledge, one of our new drivers, joining us for CRE Motorsport. And he's got a teammate, Will Devonish, further up in P9. Oh, he's just collected with, that looks like Braden Pritchard in the tradie car. See if we can see what happened here. The replay shows Pritchard coming down, too hot. And you can't pull it up there. He was under pressure and he's taken out Will Devonish as well. Unfortunately, slotting back into 13.
They've all taken their first lap around and the gloves are now off. It's on for young and old.
Yeah, we've got Curtis Agmanis in the number 2 car, the Percat Walkinshaw car. Obviously they've gone to... Oh no, they're forward already. Coming down Mountain Straight. Curtis up into P8. He's one of the new guys racing with us today, so he's definitely showing that he's very quick, already in the top 10. Justin Bryce, a name well known, just ahead of Paul Robinson in P6. He's made up a few spots. I might bring those position gains up for the guys at home. You can see the biggest losers and the faster gain ones. Bryce up 4 spots. The top 5 exactly where they started, so no surprise there. But the back of the field really sorting themselves out now as we start to settle in to the 9-lap race.
But as we predicted, it's still very tight at the top of the field. There is not much separating the first 6 or 7 cars before the guys start to spread themselves out. But everyone doing a fantastic job here. Everyone has done a fantastic lap. A few guys are now falling off with Ender Murphy, now moving up to 20th position with Gabriel Nunez and Jeff Newen. Jeff Newen is a DNF now. He's still trying to resolve his wheel issue.
Yeah, unfortunate for him. It's his first race. He's keen for the season. So I'll have to sort out, make sure he's okay for race 2. As Troy Cieslowski coming up under 5 from Will Devonish, who must have made a mistake. He's the other driver that got caught up in that accident at the Dipper, or just over Skyline. So he's lost a lot of places. Watch him come through the field too, currently in P18.
It is great to watch the attitude in these cars. They certainly don't handle like the old V8 supercars. The Gen 3 cars are very loose on the rear. Like you said, there is no roll bar adjustment while driving the car. It is fixed drive rear axle, and that does make for lively driving.
Yeah, the boys really struggling with the new car coming out of the cutting. A really tight uphill run. You want to put the power down, but you just can't afford to. It'll just snap on you as you get up. And fortunately in the race, no one's really come a gutser through that corner.
Yeah, it's very tricky. The change of camber, and there's a little lump in the road there as well. Makes it very, very difficult when you're not quite comfortable of getting that grip on the rear of the car. It's very much a balancing act across the top. I would almost say it's a ballet act in this. There's a lot of finesse between the accelerator and the brake pedal to control these cars across the top of this mountain.
Yeah, this is a great test for these drivers all year long too. Bathurst, compared to the smaller, tighter ones, can be forgiving, but one little mistake and you're straight into that wall. There's no forgiveness in that regard. Other tracks may have some runoff, you can just rejoin, but being so tight and the safety barriers up on the mountain, as we saw with Braden Pritchard, had nowhere to go, just overshot Skyline and no choice but to bounce off every wall on the way down, leaving a good bit of paint. David Baker defending off about 4 drivers here, currently in P12. He's got Will Devonish and Braden Pritchard, Darryl Callahan, who was showing some pace early on as well, so he's dropped back for some reason.
There's a tight little pack going at the moment with David Baker, Will Devonish, Braden Pritchard, Darryl Callahan and Troy Cieslowski all running in a pack and fighting it out. We see Will Devonish now putting a move on David Baker as we come down into the chase.
Beautiful shots as we head down into the chase there, watching Will Devonish just take those curves, getting the car to rotate a bit. You can see just getting loose on the exit here. We're on lap 5 of 9, so still a few laps to go. That group's just split up a little bit. And that was Darryl Callahan doing Gabriel Nunez, and looks like they haven't sorted out the centre of gravity issues as they hit that curb and rolled straight over.
Yeah, that curve on the inside of Murray's Corner is very vicious. The car is fully loaded up coming to there, and hitting that at any type of speed, it does lift the inside of the car up for sure.
So we've still got Kiddis and Broadbent, and this is bringing Scott Flack into the fold as well. Just watch for the red car behind. He's closing this gap. This bickering that these two have got on at the front is really slowing them up. Scott Flack using every opportunity to get himself up there and chase these boys down.
And it's a great little 20-minute race to test here. But the interesting story for the next race, the 50 minutes, is who's going to have strategy for tyre life.
Well, yeah, they've got to judge what tyres they're on. Actually, we can actually show you at home what tyre compounds these guys are using for this race. And if we go through the field, we've got Super Soft, and we've got the introduction of Super Soft, which is the blue SS you can see there. No one's really gone for hards. It is only a 20-minute race. So, looks like the majority, and that looked like Gabriel Nunes again getting stuck there. So he's got to be careful where he comes out and rejoins. He's right on the racing line there. We seen a few incidents, people rejoining there over the years, Tim.
Yes, I think anywhere on this track as a rejoin is always a nervous moment for the driver. The vision out of these cars is not the best to start with.
No, very letterbox cabin, these ones. So, feel sorry for the guys. Like, the viewing window out of these cars is very, very limited. You definitely need to know your spatial awareness amongst these other cars.
Yes, there's a big clear difference for the ones driving on triple screens for sure with these cars.
So we've got a couple of DNFs. We saw Daryl Callahan had to retire after that roll at Hell Corner. My guess is that he didn't unmap neutral gear and unable to get into reverse, because unfortunately that's an R factor thing. Box standard maps neutral for you, and it stops you from getting into reverse with a sequential gearbox. So during the break we'll have to tell him to do that, and also try and help Jeff Wynne get back on track for race 2. Up the front, still Wayne Walker, 4.5 seconds in front of Matt Collins. The field really stretching out as we see Collins coming down into the chase for the 6th time this race. Kiddis, Broadbent just dropped off a bit. I saw the tail of his wagging a little bit, and now he's coming under the clutches of Scott Flack in the Superflow 46 car. Coming around Hell Corner.
There is a good battle going on at the back of the pack. We've got the AAA Engineering and Matt Stone Racing battling it at the moment.
Looks like the two Walkinshaws, but that's the CRE Motorsport, the Lifeblood, and the CRE Electrical cars. Gabriel just giving way to them. But you said the 888.
Yeah, so we've got Will Devilish, Cam Rushes, Curtis Sigmanis, and James Spotto all running in a bit of a pack here at the moment, and just swapping and changing positions around the laps. So we've just seen David Baker, I think it was in the background, had a bit of a spin on through Hell Corner.
Okay, we're just on top of the mountain showing a replay of Ender Murphy just going wide across the top of Skyline. And you said David Baker. He seems to be back under control, settling into P13. He's got James Spotto in front of him. We haven't seen much of him in the practice session. Or just hit the wall on the exit there. David Baker might close in on him as it gets closer to the end of the race. We've got 2 laps to go. 9 laps doesn't sound like much, but we're still going. We're watching Scott Flack coming out of Forest Elbow. The gap to Broadband is 1.3 seconds now. Got Bryson Robinson still together. Oh, Robinson's just overcooked it on the exit of Forest Elbow. Looks like giving Justin time to breathe, and it might be enough for the end of the race to not worry about him coming back. Graham Patullo down Conrad Straight. He's chasing as hard as he can too. His fastest lap today has been a 2:05.4. Very much settled into the cars around him. Chris Egmanis is the closest behind him with Will Devonish. Looks like I'm seeing triples, but they are different liveries. Just Walkinshaw inspired as they all come down into Hell Corner. Curtis just falling back a little bit into the clutches of these two behind. We'll see how that goes towards the checkered flag there.
Yes, Cam now putting a lot of pressure on the back of Curtis, and Will Devilish is in the mix there as well. He's a bit of a freight train and a little bit of a slipstream in these cars. It's not as good as some other models, but there will be an advantage of the draft and the side draft. We have been told now with the new, especially for the real FVR Supercars, there will be the side draft advantage coming into play this year.
Well, that'll be exciting to watch, especially at Bathurst when you've got a long straight to take advantage, as we see Braden Pritchard and Andrew Chilui, and even Troy Cieslowski trying to go 3 wide down the main straight there. We definitely know that's not a thing to do. One of them was on the grass. Troy Cieslowski in the cool drive back there. Braden struggling to get back through the field after that earlier incident, down in the 15th place. So both race results get accumulated at the end of the day, and the fastest will receive 20 points for the round win, 17 for P2 and 15 for P3.
Well, just wondering if Braden's actually driving with a little bit of damage on the car there, looking at his best lap times. It's not what we saw in practice or quali.
Yeah, we saw the front fender off Braden come off, really affecting his turn-in speed, and that would affect him in corner entry, as we see Nunes just clipping the wall on the exit of Forest Elbow. Going side by side down Conrad Straight. Chasing each other down. We're on the last lap of the race. Wayne Walker heading up Mountain Straight for the last time. King Nunes, he locks up just there and runs wide. Okay, so we've got Wayne Walker coming through the cutting here. Matt Collins further 6 seconds behind after 9 laps, so he's losing almost 0.8 per lap. Matt Collins giving it all the beans as he can, but not enough to catch his champion out in front. Geddes still very strong in P3. Coming up to some lap cars. Hopefully they give way to him. This is the leaders coming around to lap the drivers now. Coming down into the dipper. And just touching the wall there. You can see that coming.
Big punch off the wall there with the loose rear of the calf.
Alex getting a free run through there, to be honest, which is what he wanted. Ender still bumping every wall, leaving some paint like a cat mark in his territory.
Yeah, you've got to be patient coming out of the Forest Elbow. You get on the gas too early and the car just understeers into the exit of the outside there. And that concrete wall is punishing.
So watching Wayne Walker, looks like it's going to take out race 1. Congratulations to him. That is race 1 finish. Matt Collins and Alex Kittis closing in right at the end here too. So that's for position. That's Kittis, Broadbent and Flack coming through as well. Justin Bryce, this gap closing in as well towards the end. So Paul Robinson really knuckling down, and that's the checkered for those two. That's 5th and 6th. And Grant Pachulo coming around for P8. Nice and solid, clean race for him.
Will Devilish found a little bit of space there at the end to get in front of Curtis Sigmanis, who crosses the line now just in front of Cam Rutledge.
And looks like a couple of guys have come together towards the end. Baker looks like he's just letting a driver catch up, or that red car. That's not Spotto, and that's...
Good. Eric Chandler crossing over now. Andrew Colerney's have a bit of an issue coming down. He's dropping back in order. Braden Pritchard coming in now across over the line. He's got Troy Chizowski just behind him. And David Baker will cross the line in 16th position. And Andrew Colerney, after dropping 5 positions there, obviously not happy with an incident with David Baker by the looks of that. Enda Murphy is the first of our DNFs before Log Tolhurst, Gabriel Nunez, Daryl Callahan and Jeff Newen.
Okay, so the results there, Jeff. Tim, sorry. I heard you say Jeff and it's stuck in the brain. So if you can run through that, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, so at the end of the day, we had Wayne Walker taking out the crown with also the fastest lap of the race with a 2:02.166. Matt Collins crossed in second. Third was Alex Kiedis. Fourth, Craig Broadbent. Fifth, Scott Flack. Sixth, Justin Bryce, just in front of Paul Robinson. Grant Pachulo in 8th position with Will Deverish in 9th, and Curtis Sigmanis rounded out our top 10. 11th place was Cam Rutledge. 12th was Eric Chandra. James Spotto held off Braden Pritchard in 14th. Troy Chizowski was 15th. David Baker in 16th. Andrew Kalui in 17th. Enda Murphy in 18th. Luke Tolhurst in 19th. Gabriel Nunez in 20th. And our DNFs with Daryl Callahan and Jeff Newen, both coming to grief in Murray's Corner and basically doing a tin lid.
Make sure the drivers are able to join us for race 2. We'll set that up and we'll be back after these commercial breaks.
Introducing the Racecraft PT1, custom-built full chassis racing simulator. The design project, codenamed The Cage, an 80/40 extrusion chassis sitting on top of a Sigma Integrale DK2 Plus 4-point full motion actuator system. No compromises in the cockpit of the PT1 simulator. To maximize the experience, we start with the 49-inch ultra-wide monitor for the greatest field of view in a small footprint of the simulator, down to the SimuCube wheelbase that's tucked up and behind the monitors with SimCore extensions to get things out of the driving area. Everything is connected to a Cube Controls GTX steering wheel with the built-in dash and all the extra button functions available at your fingertips. Driving through the Raceworks S1 pedals, the potentiometer throttle and the 2 hydraulic pedals for brake and clutch ensures you maximize the feel underfoot, and seating yourself into an OMP HTER bucket racing seat with OMP belts connected to a G-belt tensioner to provide that extra feeling and the heightened experience while you're driving. Additional interfaces and accessories in the PT1, we have twin butt kickers, one on either side of the OMP seat, as well as a Jinx sequential shifter, the SimPush Race Logic timer to the left-hand side, a Racecraft built-in WinSim kit with Philips Hue lighting and a built-in soundbar, plus the OMP side net to finish off the experience in the PT1. The Racecraft PT1, build number 1, the ultimate in sim racing experience, combining the best products in the market with the passionate, no-compromise approach that goes beyond racing simulation.
There is nothing like the mountain, the speed, the history, and most importantly, the sound. It's part of the Bathurst 1000, and now it's part of your whiskey too. Aged to perfection with the sweet sounds of a roaring V8 pumping through each oak barrel. Like a perfect lap of the mountain, each sip will leave you wanting more. For the second year, Ned Australian Whiskey brings you the 2022 limited edition Sounds of Bathurst Whiskey. And this year, Ned have taken it up a gear. The boldest drink for the greatest race in Australia. is nothing like the mountain. The speed, the history, and most importantly, the sound. It's part of the Bathurst 1000. And now it's part of your whiskey too. Aged to perfection with the sweet sounds of a roaring V8 pumping through each oak barrel. Like a perfect lap of the mountain, each sip will leave you wanting more. For the second year, Ned Australian Whiskey brings you the 2022 limited edition Sounds of Bathurst Whiskey. And this year, Ned have taken it up a gear. The boldest drink for the greatest race in Australia.
All right, welcome back. It's race 2. 50 minutes this one, 21 laps. We've had to reduce it, but it's not going to reduce the entertainment as it's reverse grid of the results of race 1. So who's your favourite? Let us know. And they're off.
And there.
Jeff Wynne getting a cracker start. Gabriel Nunes getting caught up there.
And it looks like Harry Changer also stuck in the back of that.
A lot of muscling going on down Mountain Straight through the back of the field. Look at those jostling for position here. Or Justin Bryce on the inside. That's Matt Collins as well. Jeff Wynne still out in front, leading these boys out with Andrew Chalui in P2. Braden Pritchard from like P8 has moved up into P3 already. He wants to run away with this. Luke Tolhurst right behind him as well. We'll just see as they come around the corner, the field here. So it's Braden Pritchard, Tolhurst, one of the Walkinshaw cars, Chislowski, Bryce. That's David Baker. Here comes the second stage. That's Ender Murphy, Eric Chanter, and Gabriel Nunes further back. Oh, someone getting nailed there. Got to see what goes on there as we come down. It's Jeff Wynne just losing control, smacks that wall, and Chalui trying to get past. But they come together here, gets squeezed out, Braden Pritchard. So that's at the top of Forest Elbow as we go back live now. And it's Braden Pritchard out in front, Luke Tolhurst in second, and Chalui up in third already, just ahead of Curtis Agmanis. Oh, Andrew getting swamped again. Curtis is waiting up for the other guy. Definitely entertaining there, Tim. Race 2, reverse grid.
Yes, we see Braden Pritchard feeling a little bit more relaxed here, being at the front of the grid where he would prefer to be. But Luke Tolhurst and Chislowski sitting not far off behind. But it won't be long. Wayne Walker's moved his way up to 10th place after starting at the back of the grid for this race. But it is a 50-minute race, 21 laps around Bathurst, and there will be a mandatory pit stop because they will need fuel.
Yeah, definitely no fuel, but definitely tyres on this one, Tim, as we've just seen where Wayne Walker is, winner of race 1, moving up into P10 already, and Matt Collins is either ahead, oh there he is, P4 already. So Matt Collins getting a better jump at the start of that race, trying to put some distance between him and Wayne Walker. Justin Bryce challenging as well as we watch him come across the top.
And we've also got Alex Kidder sitting in there as well. So we've seen the pace that he had earlier in the day in practice in the previous race. Wayne Walker will have some trouble getting past these guys.
think we saw Troy Jaslowski just drop internet there, and he's dropped right out of the screens. That's Matt Collins bringing the field down Conrod Straight. Bit of a gap between Braden Pritchard and P3. Luke Tolhurst in the middle of that, in the midi. Camaro. Oh, Collins just locking up. Yeah.
That could be that's going to slow down in this game as well.
There are track limits, so they do get a certain allowance. That probably cost him a lot there.
We see Bryce moving up the inside there. No, it just tucks back in now before heading into the hill corner.
And that's Alex Kiddis right behind him. This is a great little battle here.
We get to see how the slipstream of these vehicles work, whether anyone can attain any advantage.
Great little shot as they go up Griffin's Bend, up the hill, all horsepower.
Oh, they thought about going too wide there, coming up into the cutting. Wise move to pull out in single file.
Will Devonish side by side, Matt Collins. Enjoying race 2, better than race 1. Out in
Alex
some...
just putting a little bit of love on the back of Justin Bryce there too, I see in the background.
And we've got Paul Robinson behind him as well. Oh, and that's Justin Bryce sliding out. Upside down as well.
Looks like he's got the car moving.
Oh, he's...
love tap on the inside of the wall there, coming through the skyline.
Very unfortunate, but he's back on all fours. Down in P17, so he's got a lot of work to do. That's a shame for him. It is a long race, so let's see how he goes. Still Braden Pritchard and Luke Tolhurst up the front.
Yeah, and Braden Pritchard sitting on a pretty healthy lead with a 2.5 second gap over Brad Jones, racing for Luke Tolhurst. We see Matt Collins and Will Deverish there having a bit of a love and hate relationship coming through Murray's corner.
So we can see a couple of different strategies here. Pritchard's gone for the hard tyre and he's out the front. If he runs away with this, Collins too will be on hards as well. The rest on softs, Kiddis on super soft, so that's keeping him up the front a lot more than the others. We should be seeing him take a few more positions to take full advantage of the softer tyre.
But he's pushing that car fairly hard to make his way through this traffic.
Yes.
How long can those super softs hold up in this heat?
Well, it's quite warm today. I think track temperature's up over the 40-degree mark. It has been hotter here at Bathurst, but it is quite cooler across the top, getting that breeze. And Devonish really putting it on Collins. And when these guys hit the back of that midi car, it's going to be all on for these guys.
Luke Tolhurst doing a fantastic job here. Oh, that's a big crunch on the wall.
Commentators cursed him.
Yes, I do. Sorry for that, Luke.
Unfortunately, I think he just saw the rear vision mirror and he just panicked a bit. And is reversing down, trying to get a good spot to do a Yui, but this is Bathurst, there's no such thing. Unfortunately, Paul Robinson got caught up in that as well. He's dropped down to P10.
Very much a tunnel through there, but this reminds me of the GT4 that parked it up on the ripple strip on the inside of Griffin's Bend on the weekend.
To bring out the last safety car too. What an exciting time to do it. You got to think, was that a plant? Was that scripted or not? Because if it was just missing the Benny Hill music to go with that one, because he drove he drove down, like, down the wrong way for quite a while, thinking, oh, hang on, he's going to cop a flag here for going the wrong way around the track. But he decided to do the turn and got beached on the ripple strip at Griffin's Bend.
You couldn't write a script for it. It was, yeah, it was a horror moment for the driver. I'm sure he's going to be living that down for quite some time.
Absolutely. And this is the ripple strip in question on the inside there as we go up Griffin's Bend, on board with Will Devonish from the Lifeblood CRE Motorsport car. Oh, he's
the attitude of these cars as the rear steps around. It's very, very lively in the pedal box. There's a lot of pedal work going on to control the balance of these cars between the brake and the accelerator through here.
Beautiful shot as we go across the top. Big crowd up the top. Will a lot stronger over the ripple strips. Matt just guiding it through. Maybe he's trying to look after those hard tyres to make it to the end of the race.
And Alex sitting off the back of these, but it won't be long before Wayne Walker pops up. He is around about 2 seconds off the back of this pack and closing very fast.
He's got a little battle too. He's got Broadbent and Flack right behind him. We might go to that one actually as we're watching Kiddis put pressure on. There's Wayne Walker in the background, just ahead of Broadbent. There he is. That's Broadbent and Flack. Your top 6, top 7. As
he'll be drawing those two cars down the track with him. Once they pack up, it'll be a 6-car train.
Wow, the boys have really gotten their eye in for race 2. They mean business. We had a couple of early accidents from the tail enders.
And we just see Will trying to make a move around the outside of Murray's Corner on Matt Collins. It's all happening up the front.
Just settles in there behind Matt Collins. He doesn't want to give another spot away, but he's going to go again.
And he sent it down the inside. No, he chooses out. Hell Corner is a big move. If you can get it pulled off, it's a fantastic opportunity. But if not, it goes horribly wrong. But again, getting the slipstream up and the outside is not the place you want to be trying to come into Griffin's Bend.
Look at that side drive. He's putting his money on Collins, which he's got up the inside. So now which way is Alex going to go? Will just needs to tuck in behind. Yeah. Oh, right across the front. Yes. And there's Wayne Walker licking his lips. He's saying, all right, boys, out of my way. You guys can play.
That's exactly where we saw the BMW try the same move on the weekend. It is not an opportunity for a pass, that section of the track.
That's right. Quite spectacular, that accident. Someone actually went and found the rear wing for that the day after. So good on him for jumping over the fence and finding it on the next day. Or that afternoon, I'd say.
But it did cost us some live footage because it took the camera out for the cutting.
Ah, yes, it would have as well. David Baker further back in P8. That's a good position for him. Just needs to settle in there and bring it home at the end. He'll be happy with that position, the top 10. Paul Robinson's wanting to chase down. And here comes Darryl Callahan from the back of the field up in a P10. He's the driver that got caught up on Murray's Corner and couldn't get out of the sand trap. And he's got Grant Paciullo in the 888 Super Cheap Auto car.
These two might be able to work together here. If they get a little bit of gain, they'll pull right up onto the back of Paul Robertson.
So we're on lap 7 of 20. And to be honest, the front from position 2 down to 8 is all has a chance, as we see. That's Baker, as I mentioned, going into pit lane. So he's creeping in there.
He could be looking for the undercut.
I'd say so. That's quite early. Maybe that's 2 stops for him. Oh,
Grant Paciullo there just missing the brake marker and getting in the back. Darryl Callahan, but salvaged it back on the grunt and still got Andrew Chalui now sitting off the back.
Yeah, there you can see just clipping and running off. So that's his own fault, to be honest. And you can see him just getting back on there towards the end. Okay, so Will Devonish back in P8. So something's happened to Will. Either his tyres are gone or he's had an incident while we've been on the replay. But it's Matt Collins is right up on the back of the leader now. This is for the lead. Luke Tolhurst was in contention a few laps ago, but now after his pit stop is at the back of the field. Braden again. I think it's the P1 curse, or whoever's in front of Matt Collins. They see the big devil sign in the rear vision mirror and they just freak out. Braden just clipping that edge of Forest Elbow. This is the full lead of the race, ladies and gentlemen. And Tim, this is Wayne Walker's ready to pounce.
Yes, Wayne's sitting just off the back of this pack now. But don't forget, he's got Scott Flack and Craig Broadbent also just sitting off the back of this pack. And it will soon be a six-way race.
Now that's Flack ahead of Broadbent too. So, Tolhurst in the background, I can see in the pink, just spinning there. But Scott Flack has got past Tolhurst there.
Yeah, I was just going to say Tony Tolhurst,
Broadbent.
Jeff Newen and Edward Murphy have all come up as DNFs, unfortunately.
Oh, wow. So Braden's still out the lead ahead of Matt Collins. Alex Kiddis is distracting Matt, I think, in P2, and that's allowed Braden, if he can keep his head down, to just stay out there for a bit while longer.
Yes, and Alex Kiddis now has a revision mirror full of Wayne Walker, and he will certainly not want to have Wayne in front of him. So he'll be blocking and holding that line there to try and stay advantage. And that's going to bring Scott Flack and Craig Broadbent right up into this pack. Well, Braden making a little love tap on the wall there, coming through Luke Phillamy. A little nervous now in the back of the car, coming down through Skyline into the dipper. Fantastic section of trap there, so challenging, but it's a fantastic feeling when you get it all right. All folding out now, a Forest Elbow down the big long run through Conrod Straight. And we were talking earlier about pre-1986 when this was just one big long straight without the chase in it. We see now taken the fastest corner in motorsports for Southern Hemisphere. 265 kilometres an hour down into the chase.
Huge speeds, and you know, they've put the chase in for safety reasons as well too. These cars are only going to get faster and faster.
We'll see Matt Collins there make the move, and we've also got Alex trying to make the move up the inside, and Wayne on the outside. It is a four-way battle now.
Collins through now, the lead.
Oh, that's a big tap on the back of Braden Pritchard, sent him into the wall. I think that was Alex Kiddis got into the back there.
I'm not too sure if Braden changes his line. Yeah, he changed his line under braking, swerving, and just on exit. Oh no, that was Braden getting caught up on that ripple.
Again, we spoke about those ripple strips at the start of the first race. Easy to run your tyre up into them to get a bit of grip, but as soon as you pop that tyre over the back, it is good night for Irene.
And here's the battle we've been waiting for a whole 9 laps. This is half the race gone. Now we've got Wayne Walker on the back of Matt Collins. How much has Wayne Walker used those tyres that get through the field? Matt Collins has been out the front pretty much easy runnings, as anyone in front of him just seems to hit the wall and pay too much attention.
Just being a little bit messy through the skyline there, a little bit out in the grass, but recovers it, gets down through the S's, and still leads the race coming into Forest Elbow. Great, fantastic line through there. tied in against the inside, rolls it out wide and on to the accelerator. Got a good run down here, but we'll see what the difference in the setups, how much pace can Wayne Walker get now on the back in the slipstream of Matt Collins.
Well, they're side by side. Side draft is in play, but look at the pace difference. Can Matt Collins come back underneath?
The advantage of free setups in this is quite clear there. I reckon Matt Collins is running a little less wing.
Oh, and that's Wayne Walker's cue to go into pit lane. Collins is getting loose.
Oh no!
Oh, he's going to pull out. Yeah, that's given the lead to Alex Kiddis now. Matt Collins is probably wanting to go to bed. He's in the building trade, so he wants to get up, needs to get up early in the morning.
But Kiddis can't relax here. Scott Flack right on the back, less than 0.6 of a second in it. But they've got a little bit of margin over Craig Broadbent. But any mistake here, Craig is sitting on the back, 2 seconds off that pack to pounce.
Yes, Craig. Oh, Scott Flack just touching the wall there, trying to get away. But this is going to be a great battle out front. The question.
I was going to say here, actually, I've just noticed Craig Broadbent also the fastest lap of the race with a 2:05.5.
Yes, well spotted. That's and Will Devonish.
Fresh tyres, because Will Devonish has just pulled a 2:05.2, and we saw that he took the early pit stop to try and do the undercut, so fresh tyres are paying off for him at this stage.
Now the big question is overcut or undercut. We'll soon see, because the guys at the front, I mean, they can do at least one lap out there, but they can't be spending 2 or 3 laps out the without pitting or covering that pit stop of Wayne Walker, because whether they're fast or not, they've still got to pit. And will they get the time back towards the end of the race and the pace to get the lead back?
Almost mid-pace here, so is Wayne Walker banking on a soft tyre for the rest of the race?
Well, let's see. Well, let's bring up the tyres for the guys at home playing bingo. Let's look for Wayne Walker's name, and he's gone for the softs. Here they come.
Yep.
Here they come. That's Scott Flack Kiddis in pit lane now. And that is Craig Broadbent as well.
We'll make the note here, 9 laps for the first race tonight. We have 11 laps left in this race. The guys would know from their first race how the tyres will hold up.
Oh, Broadbent probably taken on fuel there. His stop was a bit longer. Look at the gap he's got. It doesn't look like much, but when the guys in front can accelerate, it looks like at least 2-3 seconds earlier than Craig. Craig will have a lot of work to do. Braden Pritchard taking back the lead. Here he is. Has he pitted? Did we see him pit?
Not yet, I don't believe. But here we have Wayne Walker now sitting in second place, 13 seconds behind Braden.
Yeah, so it's showing Pritchard and Callahan up in a P3, yet to pit, but still taking honours for now. As that's Callahan and Walker just taking that position.
Note here, after that pit stop, Wayne Walker has a 10-second margin over Kiddis.
So, answer would be undercut.
But we still have 10 laps to go. The pace could drop off in the last 2 or 3 laps. Oh, I've just seen Gabriel Nunez make a big error coming down into the cutting.
Oh, looks like he's having net issues as well, dropping out.
And looks like Braden Pritchard is having some issues also. Wayne Walker now closing that gap, 6 seconds now between first and second. And we'll we'll just keep a note, 10-second margin between Wayne Walker and Kiddis. We'll keep how that travels as well.
I can hear car hitting a wall somewhere. And it is Gabriel Nunes up on the wall. That's on the entry to the chase there. I'd say he's having some internet issues or car issues.
There is some damage further back, so may have just caught the grass a little bit maybe.
It looks like it. Although that's where he's ended up, so the accident probably a lot earlier in that. Anyway, Troy Cieslowski from Queensland sits pretty in P17. Baker was doing, as I said, he was up into P8 earlier on, but back into P15, P14 at the moment. His fastest lap at 2:07 flat, so he's struggling to get some pace out of that car. He's not going to get any faster being on the grass there. So let's see how he takes the chase. Nice.
It's not iRacing, people.
That's right. You can't just jump over the fence there. And yeah,
they've taken that out of iRacing, but it was the big hack from 2022 and 23 where they would take two wheels out into the grass to cool them off.
That's right. That's right. We saw that in quali at Spa or somewhere. That's where it all come to head.
It's on a 24-hour. The three leading teams, Williams and I can't think of the other two, all taking advantage of a hack in the game.
So this is the gap for the lead of the race. We know that Pritchard hasn't pitted, but remember, Tim, what tyres Pritchard's on. Now he's on the hards. Can he make this work for the entire race, 20 laps around Bathurst? I do.
Wayne Walker on the softs has closed the 13-second margin down to 3/10 in the last 2 laps.
Oh, Pritchard's rear is definitely getting hot there on the exit.
And that's the advantage of soft tyres over hard.
So we'll have a quick run through the field just to show where all their supporters, where their drivers are on track. And Will Devonish coming up to 7th spot. Paul Robinson right behind him. That's P8. Curtis Egmanis flying down Conrod Straight at 280 kilometres an hour. Heavy braking down to second gear over the chase, and he goes through in P9 at the moment. Grant Pacciullo chasing him down too, and there he is in the 888. And oh, here comes Justin Bryce as well. This will be a great dogfight towards the end of the race, Tim.
Yes, these guys, there's less than 2 seconds separating the three cars on track. And we've seen the advantage of the slipstream. If you can get within that 1 second, the slipstream starts to take advantage.
That's Justin Bryce in P11. Andrew Chilui was doing well at the start of the race. Really solid there. Just caught up with another car and fallen back to P12. But he'll be happy with P12 at the moment. Eric Chandra from Indonesia. He's racing with us from overseas. He was all up the front last year, and we saw on turn 1 race 2 that or this race, he unfortunately got caught up and had to play chases from the get-go. So he's
don't underestimate Eric for the rest of the season. 2:04.5. He's not far off the fastest lap of this race.
Wow.
Rounding these out, David Barker back in 14th place, having a little bit of fun in the Kmart car, sliding it around through there, coming up into the cutting.
Gabriel Nunes just coming out of pit lane after that earlier incident. Hopefully the pit crew have managed to put the parts back on safely, and off he goes back up Mountain Straight.
And then we've got Troy Cieslowski getting chased down here by Braden Pritchard. So getting lapped by some faster cars.
So we're back to the start now. Wayne Walker going up over the crest, coming up to Griffin's Bend. But then it's Braden Pritchard, and we've got to note that gap back to Alex Kiddis. This is Pritchard on old hard tyres and Kiddis after a stop. Just under 3 seconds now.
But we've also got to note that Kiddis started with a 13-second margin over Wayne Walker when they came out of the pits. That is now down to a 9.5-second gap. Can he close that before the end of the race? There's only 7 laps left. It's a long ask.
Well, that's 1.5 behind Pritchard and then a further 8. But he has reduced that down quite some time. Oh, Pritchard's not going to last the end of this race on those tyres. We can see him just getting loose over the back there.
And Alex Kiddis considering the overtake down into Skyline, and that is not a place you want to be too wide.
No, and Braden's very strong in defendings, so it's not worth fighting for him. Braden will end up making that mistake.
Kiddis on the move here. He's got Scott Flack just behind him. Oh, a little bit of a love tap there, and gets the job done. But Scott will also get the advantage of the slipstream here and slide in. And Scott's putting a fair bit of pressure on the back of Alex Kiddis at the moment.
Scott side by side with Braden Pritchard again. Where is he? No, he's taken it.
And Scott in a good position here to get on the podium as we just see Troy Kozlowski make a bit of an error there out on the grass.
Oh, Black is so smooth coming out of Hell Corner. You saw how much time he made on Kiddis now, so he's really pushing Kiddis, maximising those fresh tyres. They're only about four laps on those sets, Tim?
Yes, I think there was a 1 lap between Alex Kiddis and Scott Flack, or did they pit on the same lap?
They all Kiddis was Kiddis, Flack and Broadbent all pitted at the same time, and Broadbent lost a bit of time through that pit stop.
Yeah, with believing Broadbent took on fuel, which was not required. But still looking at this, he still just sits 2 seconds off the back of Scott Flack at the moment. So, and Scott and Alex will slow each other down while they battle a little bit. And we can see they've lost margin now to Wayne Walker. 12.5 second match up to first place now.
Great view across the top, watching Flack chase down Alex Kiddis for P2 as they hit the ripple down a second gear through the dipper. If you've never been to the track itself, you must go and appreciate the actual descent down from Skyline down to Forest Elbow. As you're walking down the hill, you're actually on top of the cars, like you're that high up over the track. Beautiful, especially for the GT3 race. Beautiful vantage point. We saw the Mercedes team come in when they were going for the fastest lap of the race. The whole team the day before came to the dipper. As soon as they left the courtesy car and got to the track, their phones were on record the whole time, the video. Everywhere they looked, they just had to point the camera at, just appreciating how high up off sea level they were, and just the elevation down the dipper and down Skyline. Quite an amazing thing, something you definitely need to experience yourself.
It is absolutely bucket list material, this track. It's one of the reasons why it is classed as one of the major circuits around the world, not just Australia, but the circumference of the world. Bathurst sits in the top 5 of nearly every international driver.
And I don't blame them. It's a beautiful circuit. Very proud as Australians, obviously, but it's right up there with Nürburgring, Spa and Laguna Seca.
We've got to say the characters that come out of Bathurst too. Lego Man, that everyone would have seen on TV, a great all-round character. Actually raced in Sims with him for a number of years on console, and he still gets out and has a run around with some of the boys. But yeah, great character.
You know what? When I was setting up the Sims on Thursday last week, he walked past, and I met him. And he had it in his hand, and I remember the video that was quite famous of the camera just panning to him with the Lego head on, and then he turned right at the last minute. It was absolutely hilarious. Nice bloke. So Braden Pritchard back in a P5. His next car he's got to defend will be Will Devonish, who's a bit further back, but he's got Paul Robinson right on his tail. So this is a battle now down Conrad. We're on board with Paul Robinson chasing down Will Devonish down the main straight.
And they've got Troy Cieslewski just in front of them, who is well and truly off pace tonight.
Oh, up the inside.
Paul makes the big breakdown inside, does not get the move done. But they both keep moving forward and keep it on the black stuff. Great job. Can he gather himself now and make another move into Hell Corner? He's got the run here, but Troy Cieslewski up the front is going to block this move. I think he's just going to have to be patient a little bit.
Troy will just stay to one side, letting these guys go. Unfortunately, always tries to get on the grass, which isn't a healthy thing to do. But okay, in that instance, look at the front of Paul Robinson, right up the back of Devonish. Can he get up on the inside? Better tyres. Yes, that's a position change.
Hold on to it. And gets that job done through Griffin's Bend. But, Alex Kidd has still got a hand forward, staying on ball with this, as Will Devonish says, no thank you, I want my place back.
Yeah, Paul just cooked it on the exit of the cutting there, and that brought Will right up beside him, challenging him for the next corner, but Paul definitely stayed firm through that section and retains P6. Grant Pachullo further back's coming up out of Sulman Park across Reed. Daryl Callahan doing a great job back in P9. Justin Bryce, after that earlier incident, back up into the top 10 already. And Shalui, fantastic job. We're on lap 17 of 20, only 3 to go. Wayne Walker, a 13-second lead. Quickly go through the field. Eric Chandra up into 12 now. Curtis Egmanis in 13. Baker, after that stop, is still in 14 with Gabriel Nunes behind him. Then is Troy Cieslewski. So up the front is Wayne Walker, but in P2, this is the battle. Scott Flack still challenging Kiddas. Kiddas very strong.
And I'm just pointing out here that Craig Broadbent has been watching this for the last 5 laps. He may just be saving his tyres for a big run at the end.
Well, he's only 1.8 back behind, so that's not far at all. One little mistake from the boys up front and he'll be right there. But he's only got 2 laps to do something about it. I think he better get a bit closer now if he's going to make any impact on the leaders table.
Braden Pritchard, without having completed the pit stop, is still sitting in 5th place. But Paul Robinson is closing very, very fast. So can Braden Pritchard go the whole race, or is there a mandatory pit stop?
There's no MPS, which is a mandatory pit stop. Assuming these guys surely can't make it the whole way on this set of tyres, because we can see Braden really struggling, and he's got Paul Robinson coming for position now. My money's on Paul to take Braden, but Braden's doing a fantastic job. still on that one set.
Also sitting just off the back as well. So, but yes, Brayden Pritchard, the only car on track that has not completed a pit stop, still running on the original hard tyres at the start of the race with. But the car is looking very, very nervous coming out of Forest Elbow there. Those hard tyres have had a very, very hard life in the 40+ degree heat of this track.
Bryce just coming, oh, so close, just clipping the wheel on exit, and that's nullified that gain he made under braking, but he's still got 1 and a bit laps to go to make any improvement if he's going to attack Daryl Callahan, who's racing with us for the first time tonight. In fact, he's racing for the first time in R Factor 2, Tim, so that is worth a big credit there.
That is a big hat off. Like I said, I did take these cars out for a quick run last night when I downloaded the package. A 2:16 I did in my first out lap. So anyone who can do a sub 2:10 is doing a fantastic job.
Yes, he's come from iRacing, so I helped Daryl set the car up. So we just got it. I'm sure there's some tweaks he'd love to do. And
I'd say it is a big transition. I have spent the last 6 months exclusively in iRacing, and there are some real subtle differences in the physics of the two games. So for me, I struggle changing cars, let alone changing sims. So
yeah,
big challenge.
And anyone out there hasn't tried R Factor 2, it does take a bit to set up, but once it's set up, it's a beautiful sim. Beautiful tyre model for R Factor 2. Probably one of the best tyre models out in the sim racing community.
Yes, most of the sim drivers all out there say that the tyre physics and the handling of the cars, R Factor 2 pretty well has it outright.
And the AI as well. Racing against the AI is #1 for R Factor 2. They lead the other sims in that regard. Just a lot harder to race multiplayer with leagues like this. But if you're watching at home, please make sure you like and subscribe. And just check out the links in our description. You can join our community. Everyone's welcome. Come and join in. We've got some guys, you know, turning on the sim for the first time tonight. So if you're listening out there and you want to give it a crack for next round, you can join at any time. You're always welcome. The more the merrier, and we love to get people into the sim racing community. And that's why
if you want to meet Shane in person, Shane's going to be back at the mountain this weekend, I'm guessing, with the sim rigs.
Yeah, I've been told I'm at the Repco merch tent, so I'll be looking after some simulators in the Repco merch tent, who are the major sponsor of the event. So as you come through the main gates, you should see us on the right hand side. I haven't seen it yet. We're driving out there tomorrow, so we'll know some more later on, so stay tuned for that one. As Flack's now putting pressure on, he knows it's the last lap. Wayne Walker is further down the road, but this is the battle for P2. Craig Broadbent not in the mix, as he's fallen back to 3, nearly 4 seconds behind.
While you're watching that, I've just dropped back and I'm actually having a look at the fantastic battle going on between Daryl Callahan, so 9th, 10th, 11th and 12th, all having a massive fight for this last lap. So there are battles going on all around the track.
So we're on board with Scott Flack. I don't think he's close enough. He's gonna have to make a big dive.
We can see that he's got the pace coming out of Murray's. Can he pull it off and have that photo finish? But it looks like he's just lost that margin coming out of the cutting.
Wayne Walker's crossed the line, taking the race. Congratulations to him. So this is the end of the race. What can Scott Flack do? He's given all the beans, going to the next line, the control line right there. That's the finish No, sorry, where the flag guys are underneath. And that's Broadbent. And Paul Robinson is out by himself ahead of Will Devonish.
Will's obviously had a bit of an issue because he was right up on the bike.
Yes. So that's Will crossing the line in P6.
Grant Picciullo will come through in 7th. Braden Pritchard, having ran the entire race on one set of tyres, will hang on for 8th place. Fantastic drive from Braden.
Very commendable there. And it looks like Callahan and Bryce, where are they? Oh,
Dale Callahan, Scott, there's a bit of dust in the background there. I think Justin Bryce just got out into the grass coming through the chase.
And it looked like a bit of a position change because Chilui, and there's more dust there, as that's Eric Chandra coming up over the crest. So Justin Bryce crosses the line. Chilui, P11, fantastic job from him. Eric Chandra, and that's Curtis Egmanis for P13. David Baker, your next driver, back up on the mountain in P14.
But well done to David Baker, still on the lead lap.
Yes, very good. So as he comes in, we're just going to show the results, because it looks like Baker's the last car on track. So we'll go to the race results for race 2. It looks like he smacked the gears down. So there's the results, Tim. Wayne Walker taking race 2 ahead of Alex Kiddis. Scott Flack, your podium for tonight. Craig Broadbent, not familiar in P4, but anyway, that's what it's all about. Finishes in P4. Paul Robinson fighting hard all race long with Will Devonish. And Grant Picciullo, another one of our newbies, doing a fantastic job, finishing P7. Braden Pritchard did all he could to finish on the same set of tyres and falls back to P8 and P9. Darrell Callahan, as we mentioned before, great job. First race in R Factor 2, finishing P9 in front of a very accomplished Justin Bryce, one of the owners and admin of DUS Down Under Series. And the next 10, Tim.
So in 11th place was Andrew Chilui, taking the Monster Energy car. Some good pace early on, a little bit unfortunate across the top of the mountain, but held on just outside the 10 there. Eric Chandra came through in 12th place with Curtis Egmanis right in 13th. David Baker had a good race to hold on for 14th place. Gabriel Nunez in 15th, and Troy Chlowski was the last car rolling around. And then we had, unfortunately, some DNFs with Matt Collins, Luke Tolhurst, Jeff Newen, and Enda Murphy.
Okay, and the remainder of that was it. That was the top 20. So we had a couple of guys drop out. So there it is, the end of round 1 for the V8 Championship for 2024 with SimHaus. Again, if you want to join us, please do. Our link is in the description, and you are most welcome to join us for tonight's, for next round racing.
And for anyone with R Factor 2 who has not got these fantastic cars, I do highly recommend that you download them and have a crack. They are a thrill to drive.
These ones take a bit of getting used to, but all the same, very exciting to get used to. And you've got all year to practice and join us. And again, your commentators, Shane Gilfeather and Tim Lawson, thank you for joining us tonight, Tim. We really appreciate your expertise on track, and hope to see you in round 2.
Thank you very much, Shane. Thank you for everyone for watching, and well done for the drivers.
Okay, so that completes the racing for round 1, I should say. Make sure, and I'll bring up the schedule for you guys at home following us. And so that's Bathurst concluded, and I'll get rid of that so you can see. All right, so round 2 will be Melbourne GP on the 20th of March. And then Taupo. Okay, so there's going to be an asterisk there. Taupo not currently available in R Factor 2, but we'll get on to that. We've got a couple of months to get something there for you, and hopefully we'll race at the same track that they do. Barbagallo round 4. Round 5 will be Hidden Valley. 6 will be Townsville. Sydney Motorsport Park at night in July. Tune in for that one. That's going to be amazing. Simmons Plains. Uncharacteristically towards the end of the the second half of the year, I should say. Usually it's one of the first 3 or 4. Sandown, Bathurst, both enduro races for us. Then it's on to the Gold Coast and Adelaide. We love Adelaide to close out the year. So that's our season for this year. Make sure you screenshot that one or get all the information on our Discord channel. Hope to see you there. Again, from us, Shane Guilford and Tim Lawson, thank you very much for joining us. Hope to see you in round 2. Stay tuned.